Gotta get used to the camera being back where it used to be, because today we're not going to be building anything. First off, let's make sure the stream is up and running. Hello there. Welcome. Yes, we're not going to be building today. What we are instead going to be doing is talking about something very special that happened yesterday. Make sure there's no audio feedback as well. Yes, we have been live for 20 seconds. Lovely. Hopefully the intro hasn't cut off too badly. I know YouTube sometimes does us dirty. A bit dark as well in here. Let's up the desk light at least. Try not to get myself looking like a ghost. Hello there, Moon Shoes. The suspense. Oh, should we wait like half an hour before I reveal what that something special was? I kind of leaked it yesterday over on Instagram. So if you're not following me over on Instagram, at Master Moldy, go ahead. I am trying to post a few more images of the builds as well, though most of them go over to the members Discord. So make sure, members, you are on the Discord. Don't miss out on the fun. But yes, if any of you are following me over on Instagram, you'll already know what it is. And I think I want to delay talking about it. We're not going to go straight into it at the start of the stream. If you're wondering what I'm doing on my desk at any moment during the stream, I have a few models that I've been breaking down today. The basketball hoop is not, well, actually, the basketball hoop is still around. I don't want to break down this bit, but I've been breaking down the rest of the mock and sets like the X-Wing, you know, the mashup set that I was keeping built to compare with next year's X-Wings, and turns out that Next Wings is going to be a very small set, even for the $60. I thought it would be about this size. I thought we'd be getting one minifigure, this size X-Wing with a smart brick inside. But no, we're not. So I think I am going to break down that X-Wing now, which is a shame because it's a lovely build. We've got a sizable cockpit. The engine is my favorite part. The fact you can just reveal, it's not the engine though, is it? Maybe it is the engine. We've got the 4 other engines on the side, but either way, probably going to be broken down. And I've also just posted in the community. Let's have a look over there. All right, stream is up and running. And get rid of that tab. I've also just posted over in the community about instructions. I've had a few questions for instructions, and I've stopped making paper instructions a while ago actually, because they were taking too much time and for what I'd have to charge for them. I don't want to charge a lot for instructions. They're really not worth that much, but well, it's not my place to say, but it seems to be paper instructions are in the lead at the minute. The alternative would be doing some video instructions, showing all the parts, how I built it, and potentially just streaming with a top-down camera and then having a little voiceover talking about any of the complicated parts, which is easier to do. I don't know if I'd still give that to members. That is one of the perks, so perhaps we can do it on a members basis instead. But oh, we've got 5 minutes. We've got 5 minutes. Let's continue talking about the smart bricks. I don't know if you've seen it, but in the last few hours, there's been a few more leaks about them. Nothing that we couldn't have guessed, I don't think. We've got an image of Luke Skywalker that has printing on the back of the torso. I don't know how different this is to the Death Star. From the front, it looks like the same minifigure, but this leak could just have cropped the Death Star figure. Then we've got some details on the back that we saw on the minifigures from that set that it did last year or early this year from Lego with the smart brick. And there's some warnings on the side about not throwing them away because they contain batteries. But what I found interesting about these figures was the fact that they're permanently connected, almost glued, perhaps even welded onto the legs. So there's no way of getting inside the torso. And I have a minifigure. Is he on display? He might be on display. I can't remember now where I've put him, but I do have one of the old light up minifigures somewhere around, and they were very hard to replace the batteries in. Where have I put Windu? It's not the sort of minifigure you want to use, but even replacing the batteries, there needs to be a way you can get some replacement components because they don't last too long. And it has sparked some fear in me about these new smart bricks. If they're welded together, you know, once the battery dies, that premium price you're paying for these smart bricks is just not worth it. It's not worth it to pick up one and done figures. Hopefully they aren't glued by the time they get round to retail, by the time they get packaged in sets. But we got a few other smart brick minifigures that we can look at. Farm Boy Luke, Training Luke, Pilot Luke, Training Luke alluring to perhaps a Dagobah build, Pilot Luke for the X-Wing, Farm Boy Luke, maybe we're getting another land speeder. I honestly would be down for a land speeder. They could have done a land speeder minifig scale like the very first one, and in the back here, if we remove the plate on top of the rifle, good thing the engine pops down, we have space for a 2x4 smart brick inside the land speeder. So that would be a nice build and should be fairly affordable. Given the rest of them, that would just have to come with Pilot Luke perhaps. But then we're also getting Solo, Chewbacca, Greedo. Sounds like a little section of Mos Eisley. Hopefully they're a bit bigger than the X-Wing and the TIE Advance. That I will say. Palpatine, Vader, Yoda ties into the Training Luke, and all of these are meant to have smart bricks, and there'll be even more for the LEGO Star Wars theme. So they'll be heavier. They'll feature wireless recharging. Okay, that would solve the batteries, but still not being able to get in and replace it. Wireless recharging is only good for so long. You probably are watching this on your phone. I know most of you do watch live streams on your phone. So you'll know phones only last a couple of years, even with as bigger batteries as they have, which bigger batteries are probably likely to degrade faster, but they've got bigger batteries, so that's okay. Smaller batteries will still degrade just as much as a bigger battery, especially percentage-wise, if not even more when they're using something like a Lego set, because I feel like for the most part they're going to sit on shelves. Perhaps that was the fault with the light-up lightsabers. I don't know. This is not going in the direction I would have hoped for the smart bricks. Permanently connected between the torso and hips. There's the underarm print warning, which is interesting. Will we get some underarm printing on a Lego minifigure that isn't a warning? It will wear down over time. Maybe that's why they put the warning there, because they just have to have it printed. It doesn't matter if it wears down. It just has to be printed in the first place. And that could be interesting for dual tone torsos, perhaps. You know, characters that only have half a top or have some different, maybe wearing like a corset or something, and the top of the torso is different to the bottom. You could have that color printed around the side. That would be very interesting to see. I'd be down to see more minifigures like that. But anyway, it's basically 7 o'clock. So yesterday I went to my very first Lego convention, and I thought it would be great. We've built a lot on the channel. Like I said at the start, I've got a fair bit to break down now. I thought it'd be great to just talk about my experience, because you're going to see a video of me walking around, but there's not any retroactive, you know, thinking, or I don't really record much else for the video because I wanted it to stay true, almost vlog-like, of the actual event. I know not everyone is going to want to hear what I have to say after the fact. They're interested in the builds and all the really cool Lego sets that are on sale. So stay tuned for that video. That will be dropping either tomorrow or Wednesday, possibly Wednesday, because I've still got a bit more editing to do. I don't want to rush it. Don't want to rush it tomorrow morning or tonight. But it was the National Brick at Southend. Again, you would have seen that over on Instagram. They actually reposted my story, which was very nice, and I recommend it. I heavily recommended it. I actually got recommended this. A few family members have bought it up recently, what with all the advertising, because it is, I don't know if it's the closest one, but it's one of the closest events, and Southend is one of the bigger ones of the closer venues. I also got recommended this by Minifigure Jez on the platform. Shout out to Minifigure Jez, doing a few upscaled projects at the minute. If you've loved the upscaled builds that we've done with Captain Rex, Jackson, Grogu, the B1 battle droid, R2-D2, recently, the ATRT, which was the last live stream on the channel. Go check out Minifigure Jez. Lots of nice builds over there. Still waiting for the upscaled mascot. But the convention was a blast. Didn't bump into anyone there, which I think it was open for like 5-6 hours throughout the day. I ended up spending just over an hour there. I thought I was going to spend hours there, but there was so much to do, so much to see. You'll see a lot of it in the video. The main take I took away from it was conventions, specifically the National Brick at Southend, are so expensive. Crazy expensive. Some of the prices of the sets there, even the sets that were currently available through Lego on a sale, were more expensive than retail. And I know, especially towards Southend, the closest Lego store is in London, which you've got to travel halfway through the country for, which isn't like traveling halfway across America. It's like traveling halfway through a state, if that. It's not as far as I'll make it out to be, but considering there's like 6 of them in London, it's a long way to go just for one set. The petrol, the ULEZ, and even the train ticket that you'd spend, some people would be paying more on or at a convention, but also Lego have free delivery, over 50 quid. So if it's still in stock and it's over 50 quid, which a lot of the sets weren't over 50 quid, but they were priced above 50 quid. I found that so weird that they would charge more than Lego would, even if you pay delivery. You could get, you know, half the time a little poly bag or some smaller gift with purchase and another set on top of what they're charging. But there were still people picking up quite a few different boxes. And I also understand we went there pretty early. The later you stay, the cheaper sets tend to be, especially ones that aren't selling well, that they want to get rid of. Something you'll see in the video is there were a lot of gingerbread AT-ATs there, and they were listed. None of them were being picked up. None of them were even being looked at really, and they were tucked away at the back. But they were going for like 100 quid, 90 odd quid. Some of these, which I think is nuts for a set that is £55 just come out, and it is a Christmas set as well. So even though it's quite popular at the minute, that's what you're paying for. You're paying to get it then and there. I ordered it the other day on stream and it's arriving the 18th of November, not the 28th. Got that wrong. I said 18th at the start and then I went on this whole tangent of, oh, 28th isn't going to be in time. No, the 18th. The 18th of November, which is only 4 weeks away. 4 weeks away tomorrow. It'll be arriving. Lovely. Okay. That's real nice. 4 weeks. That's a month. Under a month. Like to see it. But it's so tempting to pick up all of them. Every time I bumped into it, I wanted to pick it up. I was not spending £100 for a set that I picked up for £25 as well. I couldn't use points at the National Brick. And I also didn't see many, there were a lot of the National Brick, like 1x8 bricks. I didn't see any of the new ones, so I don't know if they're given out at the end of the convention or they just didn't have them ready to go at the start. But it was fun. It was fun, and like I said at the start, I recommend it highly. I cannot recommend it enough, going to a Lego convention. I didn't have anything in mind to pick up going there, which is a good mindset to have, because I think if I wanted to pick up a few figures, I would have ended up spending so much, way more than they're worth. We're looking at minifigures that are like £5 going for £15, or a big part of conventions, I understand, is haggling. I don't fully agree with it. I think if someone asks for that price, you know, you can ask, no harm in asking, but most of the time I feel like they're going to stick with that price because they know what it's worth. And if they try to up their price, we're going to see companies do the same, and Lego prices are high enough as they are. We don't want Lego upping their prices just because, you know, scalpers are trying to do the same. And I'm not calling anyone at the convention a scalper. Everyone seemed to know their stuff, seemed to have fun, and it was a lot of effort for someone to do for a quick profit. There are easier ways of, not a lot of easier ways with Lego, but there are easier ways of making a quick buck than trying to buy and sell Lego. It's not, I would not recommend it. If you're thinking about it, don't. It's, through my limited experience, as someone who wasn't even doing it to flip a profit, not worth it. The amount of time and energy that goes into acquiring some of these rare sets, all for there to be a mishap down the road. But the convention was great. It was awesome. It was a ton of fun. And there were some big mocks. I think you could see that a lot of the bigger mocks were less detailed, and everyone seemed to have spent like in between 1 day to 3 days working on the mock. So there was no month-long projects, which I do really like. I like being able to put in, and you'll see on the channel coming up, there will be a lot of part 2s to videos where I've then gone back and been able to upgrade a set, maybe build a mock out of it. Even with the last stream, the ATRT, I do want to revisit that, not the build itself, but I do want to build a clone trooper that will fit inside, because it's about 2/3 the scale of a regular Lego upscaled giant figure. So we're gonna have to work through that, but I would love to go back and just add a bit more, add a clone trooper, maybe add a little upscaled side build as well. That would look awesome on display. And they take quite a long time to put those together. You've also seen the cruise ship that we've put, that we've not only built, but we've also upscaled, and that was a few days. Just getting all the information for the set took a day. So hopefully you can appreciate that we're not just building one and then, you know, tossing it aside, especially because I don't keep a lot of sets built. Being able to work on them for, you know, across multiple weeks. We might only work on them for a stream or two, but being able to break that up is really fun recently. So stay tuned for the upscaled clone trooper. Don't know if I'll do a phase 1, a phase 2, or a scout trooper, but I think I'll leave that to decide for the stream, because I'm just not going to know it. The more I talk about it, the more I'm just going to back and forth all over it. We've got, oh, a few Star Wars books as well. Yes, I jotted that down. We have the UCS Death Star Han Solo in a book with Chewbacca. I think Chewbacca's the exact same as the one we've seen for the last how long. That'll be interesting to see if the... Oh, I mean, if we ever get an updated Chewbacca, that'll be interesting to see. I do want arm printing, but it'll be interesting to see if we get more of the UCS Death Star figs in like books, cheap sets. We don't normally get too many books for Star Wars, and that we do have the TIE Pilot. We've got one more book at the end of the year, which is coming out with a TIE Pilot, an activity book, if I'm right in saying. And usually they do go for common minifigures. UCS Han isn't exactly a rare minifigure. Han Solo we've seen time and time again. Maybe this is a way to include that same Han without the smart brick printing, you know, the warning labels and the different fig, because the torso can't be used for a Lando. It's got the little fleshy part, which does suck. I do think torsos that have the skin tone on them, unless they're a very specific torso, maybe ceremony layer to get the necklace. I think necklaces would look nice as an accessory. If Lego can somehow do a little plastic molded accessory, that would go a long way. I'm looking at other torsos, like Dagobah Luke has a little bit of flesh at the top, Bespin Luke the same. They can outdo that. We don't need to see the necks of minifigures because it stops us being able to use it for other figures. A lot of Jedi, a lot of Padme, Ahsoka's, they've got rid of the necks. I think the newer Qui-Gon has included the neck. That could have just been a tan torso, didn't need to do that. And the Christmas sweaters don't have any of the necks as well. So we're seeing necks slowly disappear, but some minifigures are still being designed with them. And I think that's something like leg printing. Leg printing, I've been phasing out in preference of dual molded legs, keeping both where we can. We're not trying to downgrade Lego back to the early 2000s with boots, but dual molded legs are definitely better than printed legs. It's that extra detail. I think because a print is like a sticker. At the end of the day, you're seeing it from one angle. It's not as immersive as dual molded legs. Dual molded legs are top tier when it comes to Lego minifigure design. I would take dual molded legs over everything barring torso print. and I guess maybe like a head print as well. That's kind of important. Torso print, just front torso, not back torso. And we're not speaking about capes. We're also speaking about what minifigure needs back torso. Back torso printing. Like the Christmas jumpers, maybe. I don't think any other minifigures. I don't see the back of minifigures too much. Maybe like Jedi robes are better with a back printing than they are without. But even for Jedi robes, I would rather them have the correct boots than dual robes, or like dual arms as well. Dual molded arms as opposed to dual printed torsos. I just think it's more immersive from a minifigure. I think I'd take dual molded legs over everything, barring, like I say, torso front printing and a single face print. Dual-sided faces are also something that we need for more minifigures. Can't believe opening up today's video, Monday's video, the Batman magazine. Can't believe the Joker doesn't have a dual molded face. How not? There's so many Joker expressions we could get. And I also found a Last Laugh Batman as well. There is a company that does cheap minifigures. So probably not great quality, but I'm tempted to pick one up. Because it looks like what I would do if I was to make a custom figure. The convention as well was a lot of stalls, but not just... I assumed it would be like heavily Lego, and there wasn't any off-brands there. Or any... I don't even think we saw any 3D printed parts, any sort of 3D printing with Lego. It was all Lego bricks, but a lot of the stalls were showing off their UV printed parts. For the most part, it was just like 2x4 stuck together with UV printing over the top. There was I think there was one. There was one little mock that was selling that was quite smart, the way that they'd use UV printing to give some parts detailed, but a lot of them were printed over multiple parts, which is better than printing just on one large element, because those large bricks are very expensive. But it is it looked good. How they managed to pull it off, it was pretty cool. And the mocks around, I think all of the mocks were created by like 5 people. They had some frames in the back right corner. Then they had a table in the middle with some like war stuff on it. I kind of walked past that because I'm not too interested in a lot of the tanks and like the wartime equipment. I'm more into sci-fi. And then they had a table full of a lot of IP mocks. None of this registered by Lego or anything. So just their own takes on it. And then the left side had some. I think they were all by the same person. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's probably something I'm missing. There was a lot of displays. There was a lot of sets on displays at the stalls that were selling Lego sets. And I don't think a lot of them were up for sale. It was just like personal collections brought along. As I say, everyone selling Lego there seemed to have some sort of interest in the hobby, or at least in the themes that the hobby is centered around, like Star Wars, superheroes, a lot of Star Wars and superheroes minifigures. Walking in, the first few stands were all minifigure focused, no sets, few sets. The first stand was set heavy, but then we went on to minifigures, and they just had cases and cases of these figures, which was nuts to see. So many figures, considering we've been to like secondhand stores that have a handful of figures. Seeing that many figures on sale, and the prices, a lot of them were local. Some of them, I understand, have traveled and probably go to like the 5 local ones, their 5 nearest, just to get a slight different audience. I don't think like the people going to the National Brick in Southend weren't traveling to the other ones nearer, that probably weren't nearer for them. They're just going to that one because it's like a bus ride away. And yeah, it's interesting seeing how expensive they are, but you're picking up 2, they'll probably knock a couple of quid off, knock a couple of quid off here and there. And I think that's how a lot of people get minifigures from more expensive sets. We saw the Shaggy and Scooby, we saw the black-haired Kanan Jarrus. First time seeing that. in person. I'm trying to think of other rarer minifigures. There were a few. There's one stall in particular that had a few of them cased up in the back in like the official Lego displays. And they were nice enough to say, if we wanted a closer look, you know, we could have just asked to get them out the case, but I wasn't interested in spending any of that, any of the asking prices. That's for sure. A few minifigures there I could have picked up, and a few that I just wanted to pick up, like the Gingerbread 8080. I just want a million of them now. As soon as I have one of them, I want the rest of them. I want all the Gingerbread 8080s, just amass an army so we can have our assault on Gingerbread Land, on Gingerbread Hoth. Hoth would work. Instead of snow, you just replace that with icing, and now you've got Gingerbread 8080 walkers on a massive cake. Imagine the size of that. For the Lego set, it's pretty big. To ping back to the books, because we saw a load of Christmas minifigures, the two I'm missing are Rey and Finn, not Poe. Rey and Finn. They didn't have those two, but they had a lot of Palpatines and a few Christmas Vaders. Don't think we saw any others, but we are getting a book next September. Lego Star Wars are dropping. Where did the other engine? Oh, there they are. Lego Star Wars are dropping a Celebrate the Season around September time, and it comes with C-3PO and what looks like a white astromech. Maybe it's not. C-3PO's holding some sort of snowball. It would be really cool to see another snowman R2-D2. If I'm right in saying we have seen a snowman R2-D2 before. What? It was in one of the advents. I guess if I type in R2-D2, there's just going to be the first R2-D2 that popped up is the massive one with Malak. The second one is Lego R2-D2 Snowman minifigure, 2012. 2012, and to be honest, it looks like something I would have drawn from 2012. I know that's what Lego intended. I'm not insulting Lego's design here. It does look like something I would have just penned on. The carrots are too good. I wouldn't have been able to draw carrots that good. But we are in need of another Snowman R2-D2. R2 Snow 2. Snow 2 D2. R2... Oh, there's a pun in there somewhere. Astromech. Astromech Snowman. Snow Droid, first off. R2 is no man. Snowmech, Snow Droid. Snow Droid works. Snowy D2. No way we're getting another one, but we might next September. That's looking cool. Around April, just before the Mando movie magazine. We'll probably get a load of Mando magazines. Before the Mando movie, we're getting Grogu's Adventure, which gives people that still haven't picked up Grogu a chance to get Grogu and a pram. The pram looks pretty nice. Thank you, Alfie. Switching up the camera angle, though, this is the old one. If I have a top-down desk cam, this is probably what I'll go back to. I never spoke on it, but the camera is mounted on a 3D printed attachment for my monitor as well. Had to 3D print it to get that nice crisp angle up there. And the Grogu and Pram, great chance to get Grogu before the movie, but you may have seen this because this is, Alfie, you've arrived at the right time. This is the most important segment of the books in this stream. In August 2026, we are getting a Bricktivity book. Yes, it's a Lego activity book for Lego Star Wars. And this one features the Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Vader, but doesn't come with the UCS minifigure. Do it. I've got so much I'm going to print on that 3D printer. I need to clear the Halloween display. I'll find somewhere else for it. Oh, we got plenty of room now. It'll go up there somewhere. But the Darth Vader coming in this book, we are not ready for. I don't even know what Darth Vader is coming in this book, actually. I cannot confirm or deny anything except for the fact that it's going to be exclusive to the Bricktivity August book at the time of it coming out. For how long it will be exclusive, we don't know. For how many sets it will come in afterwards, it could be this book. And a Bricktivity book, I want to say it will be releasing elsewhere. The Solo and Chewie was a pop out and play. What do they have between? Is that? It could be a hyperdrive. It could be a Babu Frick. I've seen Babu everywhere. But the Darth Vader being exclusive to the August book, it's got to be something good. We've seen a few Darth Vaders exclusive to books and Blu-rays across the years. We've got the Metal Vader, which I don't own. That'd be a nice one to go with the Yavin figures. Speaking of, actually, Yavin, I've constantly looking at my minifigures, seeing what I can switch up, and I've switched up Leia. I think that was mentioned in today's video. I think I snuck it in there. For some blue legs and black boots to match how Leia looks in the movie. The official Lego legs with all the green on it just didn't look too nice. Made it look like a onesie, not a poncho, that Leia was wearing in the Endor battle. And I'm going to do the same for Luke as well. Try and get some... I think Luke wears tan boots in the final duel. Maybe it's black shoes. I'll have to check. I think it's tan boots. So black legs, tan boots. That would be cool. And I was looking at the ceremony minifigures, specifically my Luke and Han Solo, because Luke is in an exclusive costume with the yellow jacket and the medal. But Han Solo wears the same thing throughout the entire first Star Wars movie. In fact, the second one, he takes off his jacket and then wears a colder looking carbonite. And then in the third one, he switches up for the Endor suit, or the Endor jacket, I should say, and might put on another like gilet or jacket on at the end of the movie. But the Han Solo in A New Hope, I could just use the medal accessory for the original Han and then free up another slot for someone like Tarkin, who I don't have on my A New Hope display because we didn't have space for Tarkin. We've got like 3 Lukes. We've got Farm Boy with a poncho, we've got Pilot, we've got Ceremony Luke. We've then got Han and Han with a medal, which feels like an unnecessary minifigure to add. I feel like Han should just have the medal in the first place. Old Ben, with or without the robe, we use the cape. 3PO Vader for A New Hope. That was one of the ones that was on the website. I think they're sold out at the minute. Leia has her regular robes and then her ceremony outfit, which really is just removing the extra. She wears the ceremony outfit pretty much throughout the entire movie. It seems like, I think there's a switch up of the cape, not the cape, the dress, the skirt piece, and Leia also has like an extra thing over her shoulders, which I'm wondering if that would be a cape in minifigure form. I think that would look odd for Tantive Leia, but with the hood as well, a hood and a cape might look quite cool. CMF runner medal. I've got a few of the runner medals because I've been trying to pick up the medal that came with the Yavin set, and that has some printing on the medal. I think that's a bit too much for some of the minifigures that I'm going for because, like I say, we're getting rid of a lot of the printed legs for... I had 2 of them on my desk a second ago. I might have moved them just before starting the stream. We're getting rid of a lot of the leg printing for dual molded legs. And yeah, I do think just having a plain medal. I think the runner torso, the runner CMF, is a red medal, and the Yavin ones are a brown or at least a dark red. So worst case scenario, I just paint the strap that goes around them, or 3D print something to 3D print a medal maybe, get some nice shiny gold paint and get a little Yavin design on there. But the CMF runner medal could definitely work with Solo, and then we can free up the space for Tarkin because we have Jan Dodonna, we have Captain Antilles from the Tantive. I think we've said them all. Yeah, and then we have, last but not least, the Ceremony Leia, which I feel like the Ceremony Leia and regular Leia also kind of work in tandem because they've got different dress pieces in a way, where the one that Leia wears at the start is like a thinner material, and I think it's the same for the ceremony robe, but that dress is longer. I'll have to watch A New Hope again. I don't remember how different they are, but especially the top half. I think the ceremony Leia with a cape is essentially that A New Hope starting off Leia. I don't think there's enough time for everyone to change costumes. Just Luke. Luke's in his sandy farm boy uniform. Then he hops in an X-wing suit, and then he's changing out, and he's like, "No, I'm not getting back into that," and nabs someone else's yellow jacket. And then he's got the black top that he goes around in for the comics after the fact. So maybe the yellow jacket should be a cape. Maybe we should have a yellow cape with a black torso for Luke. You know what? That might look good. The 2009 Celebration book has a red medal. Oh, maybe it does. Maybe. That's the Celebration Han and Luke from the books are the ones that I've got just up there. So I like the printed one for Luke because we don't really see him without it. I guess walking up to get the medal. I'm not too fussed on that. I definitely want to get rid of, well, not get rid of. I'll just move Han to a different display. I'm still keeping the torso. It's a great figure to have. It'd just be a case of relocating that to make space for a Tarkin figure. Not that I'll be picking up the new UCS Death Star for it. I'll part it out when the, well, Imperial torsos anyway are fairly easy to make customs of. With the Imperial insignia on the torso. That's why decals are so good on the torso. It's the legs that you want to be careful of. Any minifigure that needs some decaled legs, you better buy in the piece. Sure, grey torsos can't be too expensive. Anyway, didn't see any of the books at the convention. Well, no, that's a lie. I did see one of the books. There was the Darth Maul. The new anniversary Darth Maul. I can't remember what book that comes in now. I'm sure some of you will remember. The Visual Dictionary. Updated and expanded. The book is going for about like 12, 13 quid. And I have seen it drop down to £10 through like Prime sales and certain things like that. It was £12 and I almost picked it up. But again, it's not a minifigure. I think if the Darth Maul, because it's what, 25 years? Let's see what it says on the back of Maul. I think, yeah, 25 years of Lego Star Wars. It's a cool figure to have. But the original Maul is so much cheaper. Let's see how much Maul's going for now. Because I wouldn't just want Darth Maul. I'd want a few of the first minifigures. Which one's the first one? 1999. Oh no, that's the anniversary one again. It's one of these. It's one of these that have, you can kind of tell from the eyes. No, that's 2011. I can't tell from the eyes. 2010. But it's got to be one of them. Anyway, I know the original Maul's fairly cheap. Should have sorted by price. Been the first one to come up. Here we go. 1999. There's two variations of the torso. I think they're just two different numbers for the same torso, looking at it. But this figure, starting off, £7 a lot. £7 is a lot more than it was last time I looked. Maybe there's been a slight increase. Or maybe there's two variants again. There you go, £5. £5 elsewhere, £7 in the UK. Joker magazine I made a vid on is the best DC magazine for a while. And I have to add something to that video because I did say, oh, I put my DC figures away as well. Trust that. To be the only stream I've cleared the desk for, and it's the only one you can't see the desk. Don't worry, we'll fill it with Lego without long. And at the end, I said the Supergirl was more accurate to the DC animation. It's actually less accurate. Batgirl, not Supergirl. Batgirl in the animated series has the bat that I've got, but it is a light grey costume, which is so annoying because they only make dark grey. So I don't know whether to buy the magazine, or I'll probably get it delivered through Brickheads, get that magazine for December and then like paint a bat over the top, or just use the dark grey one. I've got pieces for a dark grey Catwoman as well, just so she's not alone. And there's a bit of dark grey in it, because throughout the animated series, the Bat Peeps, Mr. Freeze, Catwoman, they're all the same colour, but it depends on the lighting, how light, how dark they each look. So you get away with using both of them. Heard Amazon and whatnot have been down today. Yes, Amazon's web services have been down. Not just Amazon, not just whatnot. We also had the Alexa services. So it would still work as a speaker and access the internet, but if you were to ask any questions or that, would not have been answered. If you were to go, what else was down? Oh, Ring, the doorbell thing, Ring was also down. The doorbells themselves were still, you know, functioning as doorbells and that, but anything that needed to ping to Ring and come back, nope, that was down. And it went down for hours as well. That was crazy. I can't believe someone like Amazon would let their service, I mean, they didn't let their services go down. They did the whole, oh, we're trying to find a solution. Yeah, it's something technical here. We have our best people working on it. And then Reddit was coming out with so many fixes. As they do, the professionals over there. That was crazy though. The amount of services that shut down. I was laughing with my partner. Because could you imagine if that was Google? Imagine Google goes down. Not only is that, you know, like work, but also the amount of services and the amount of websites that can't function without Google is crazy. I mean, it's basically all of them. I'm sure Amazon's web service wouldn't function fully without Google. There's some sort of connection there. Paid $16 for the book on release and it's sealed. At least it's sealed and at least you got the figure. But yeah, so the original I mean, the one that come in the book is more expensive, I think. Let me check. It was the first half more. It's always the one that we want pops up right first. 25th anniversary mall is selling for £17 in America. Well, it doesn't say. It doesn't say dollars. Touche. What about in the UK? Oh, no one's selling it in the UK. Not available from United Kingdom. Well, it's priceless. There you go. What about the book? The book is also unavailable in the UK, at least on Brickhouse, which is what we use. But the book without the minifigures selling for cheaper than the first minifigure. Hello there. Welcome. You might also notice that I'm only running the mainstream today. Recently, the short streams have been all right. There was a few issues with it last time. I don't know if any of you were watching on the short stream. I know this is a more pleasant experience, but for today and probably for the next few, I'm not going to be running the short stream, and hopefully that'll improve the quality on this stream, because I do run them both from the same computer, so hopefully there's a bit less of a delay and the quality's up. Course I do after last time. Oh, it's not been that long since Saturday. A lot has happened. We were speaking about the convention. We spoke about all the Lego sets that were there, mainly the Gingerbread AT-AT. I saw 3 of them and I wanted to pick up all 3, but I resisted. And my partner nearly picked up a few sets as well. Again, it just comes down to the price. We can get them cheaper, and I consider myself in the know with Lego. I might not be privy to all the deals. That's what you're here for, to let me know about the deals. Any deals I might be missing out on, and especially if a Gingerbread AT-AT comes in stock. Again, I cannot thank you enough for that. That was nuts that I went live the moment it was back in stock. Otherwise, I don't think I would have known about it till like a week later. Speaking of, I don't remember if I caught up with comments on Saturday. Prefer these streams. Don't know what, monsters like a smaller screen. I will say I started doing short streams because I was watching short streams on my phone as opposed to the main ones, And since I started doing short streams, I don't think I've watched a short stream. I think all my streams have been regular size. Regular size. Not like the smaller screen. Hey, what are they going to do? They can't complain. They're not watching this. We get away with it if we're not streaming there. Just be careful if I ever go live to shorts and don't do a main one. Don't watch it. Feel like the opposite. Prefer buying 5 kilograms of trans neon green for £70. That don't sound too bad, 5 kilograms. I don't know how big and heavy these pieces are. I assume not very for translucent pieces. They feel like they should be lighter than regular Lego bricks, but at the same point, they could be much heavier. I don't think I've ever got around to weighing them. Yeah, Alien Conquest uses a lot of trans green. I feel like the sets didn't, but the mocks do, because you're not limited like Lego. You have no such limits. Just go all over in trans green, and it gives that alien feel. Even the Alien movies use their like misty green lights and that sort of thing, because you see that and you just think straight away Alien. Like neon green strobe lighting, Alien. That's the first thing that goes through my head. That's one thing I would love for Lego to bring back. So just one set every couple of years, maybe a creator box or a creative 3-in-1, similar to the Halloween one. Just a bit of nostalgia. We've got Alien Conquest. I did see a Nexo Knights set, technically, at the convention. Nexo Knights is something I have not heard about in so long. I never got any of the Nexo Knights sets, but I remember seeing them and seeing a lot about them. I used to be so in some of the elements in Nexo Knights. Kind of, I feel like Nexo Knights is the reason I keep up with new elements today, because I'd see something in Nexo Knights and my child brain would just want that for a very, very specific Star Wars build. Like there would be one ship in the entire Star Wars catalog that could use that piece, and I'd want to build it. And thankfully, I now have a 3D printer. I blame Nexo Knights for me spending hundreds on not just one, but 2 3D printers, and that's not mentioning the filament. I can't say it's an expensive hobby, talking about Lego for the last hour, but it's not cheap. Hello there, Vaughn. Yes, I should probably switch up the title now that the cat's out of the bag. Let's switch it up to... I don't even know if I can switch up the title. That's going to be fun. Just talking about my convention visit yesterday, and honestly anything else happening in Lego. We've seen the Smart Brick minifigure for Luke Skywalker. Farmboy Luke. So let's loop back to that, because we only spoke about the minifigures, and I mentioned some of the sets that they could have been in. There's a list of them here that people have been deciding what sets these can come in. Not very popular. We've got the Dagobah training, which makes sense for Luke and Yoda. Possibly the return of the dual printed R2-D2, which is a fairly expensive figure. Oh yeah, the Nexo Knights, what was it, a series or like little shorts? I can't remember now. We've got training Luke and Yoda for Dagobah. Farmboy Luke and... oh no, we don't have Kenobi. No Kenobi. Maybe Farmboy Luke is in a land speeder. We have prices, don't we? Where are the prices? We have some prices for March sets, which are rumoured to all be Smart Brick sets. Let me see if I can find those. But that's a lot of minifigures we could get. March Wave, here we go. Currently, 3 sets. 3 sets will contain the Smart Brick. Vader's tie. That will contain the Smart Brick. So that's Darth Vader. Oh, is that solo Darth Vader? Or is that Darth Vader and Palpatine? I feel like it's solo Darth Vader. If Darth Vader's alone in a $60 set, and Luke is alone in a 90... No, Luke's not alone. Maybe Han's... Who would it be included with a Smart Brick X-Wing? Because they'd have to interact with the X-Wing. Having Solo and Greedo feels like they'd be in the same set. Maybe a little shootout, and because Solo's in it, Chewbacca. Or maybe it's not Chewbacca. Maybe it's Chowman? Maybe that's Chowman. Cartoon Network. That's why I would have seen it. Oh, Cartoon Network was the place years ago. I haven't watched Cartoon Network for ages. I don't know if it's still got good shows. I don't know if it's still around. Disney Channel's gone. Only a matter of time before Cartoon Network. They tried something similar to a streaming service where they had the website where you could catch up the latest episodes. Then you had games and different things like that on it. Lego even did that at one point with the Yoda Chronicles. I can't remember where you could watch those, but I never watched those on TV. Yes, Cartoon Network for the win. Who's Chowman? I am so happy you asked, Vaughn, because sometimes I will just run off these names and not explain them. Chowman is the owner of the Mos Eisley Cantina. You see, oh, it's too far. You see the bartender, which a load of people think he's the bartender, probably owns it, but Chowman is a Wookiee that actually owns the cantina. Chowman from Star Wars, and yes, a Wookiee in a suit, I think. So this could also play in if Chewbacca. Yeah, Chewbacca's quite different, but we made custom Chewbaccas, and I do want to revisit the custom Wookiees that we made. There were a few tips and tricks left in the comments, things we could use to improve them. People seem to like the regular legs. I think the 3-length legs, the Woody legs, aren't too popular. All right, let me. Oh, look at that! This is a great image. Let me pop this up. How big did we have the last image? This is one way to find out. All right, this is the bartender. This guy right here is the bartender, and the Wookiee next to him is Chowman. Chowman technically owns the bar, very Wookiee-like, you know, arms out, printed Chewbacca arms, maybe. Got a gilet on, and I think a shirt underneath, which is a long-running joke, especially earlier on in Star Wars. We see Zalbar, who only wears like a red gilet or like waistcoat, if you can even call it that, that's like 5 sizes too small. It's more like backpack straps than anything, and that's from the Knights of the Old Republic. This is Chowman, owner of the cantina, and if we get Chowman as a minifigure, we could possibly get just the Wookiee head. That was one of the things spoken about the old Wookiee mocks that we did, the custom minifigures. Apparently they're bringing Gumball back. Oh, that could be cool. Maybe I'll start watching more Cartoon Network. That's going to be in the background of me building now when I'm not streaming. But one of the things said was we replaced the Wookiee's head with a minifigure head and then added the very top of the Wookiee mold onto the head. And everyone seemed to want the custom heads. I'm not a fan of custom heads, but for the Wookiees, I agree. It's something that is really needed. Honestly, Chowman could probably do with a minifigure head, a beard accessory, and Han's hair, because it's got that parting right down the middle, and I do think that would work really nicely. But yes, if we do get Chowman, that would give us a unique Wookiee mold head. I think everyone's got used to the Chewbacca. That's one thing that Lego probably don't like as much as some of us do. The Lego curse. They make a minifigure in a certain way and they'll forever have to stay true to it. That's the thing with Force Ghosts. They're going to have to really nail them because they just can't change them. Wookiees do have built-in clothes. That is a good point. I can't check out the community in this video because I need my phone. I don't have it and can't access it on the computer, which is a problem. But if I do stream the community, what I'll do is just screenshot them ahead of time and have them fully loaded up. I think I'm going to go live later on this week as well, because I think I'll probably go live on Thursday. I won't confirm what we'll do, but we might go live on Thursday. Got something planned for Thursday already. Maybe at the end of the month we'll take a look through the community. But I think, thanks for hanging out, Fee. May the bricks be with you. I think for looking at the community post, it'd be better to do as a video because I can record a segment then and there. I'll check them every week sort of thing. Otherwise, it's going to pile up and we'll be streaming for ages. Could you imagine? Anyway, Chowman, would love to get Chowman in a Lego set. I think Chowman fits with Han and Greedo as an exclusive character. You know, Wookiee's off. Wookiee? Wookiee! Chewbacca is off. My nan and granddad used to have a staff that looked like Chewie, and they called him Wookiee. Now I've got that picture in my head. Anyway, Chewbacca's off prepping the Falcon. Han and Greedo are having a shootout. And who do you think comes out to clean up Ponda Baba and to get rid of Greedo other than Chowman? I think that would work. And if not, don't worry. We're going to be making a custom Chowman minifigure when that set comes out. But that's only one set. That would make sense. So that is our Han and Chewbacca. First day of school Thursday. Oh yeah, it was in the UK. It was half term. I think last week or this week. I can't remember, but one of them was half term. Maybe today was back to school for a lot of people. I'm keeping the 7 p.m. time as well for streams. It's much nicer end of the day. I don't have to worry about getting ready to go out afterwards or getting ready, you know, even to make dinner, something like that. So nice and chill. So hopefully you'll be able to catch some of it. We've got Farm Boy Luke in maybe a land speeder. I think this could be a smart move from Lego, not to release immediately. Not that Luke is standing up. This looks brutal, by the way. I don't know if you can see, but that is Luke's beaten up face from the Bespin doll. I don't even remember why I did that. That would be a smart one to release because this could be like a £12 set with the smart brick because it uses so few pieces. Maybe if the smart brick doesn't take off in March, this is under Lego's sleeve that they can just drop off. And it would just need Luke. Wouldn't need anyone else. Maybe a Tusken, maybe Uncle Owen, you know, but really just Luke is fine for a Microfighter-esque set with a smart brick, maybe more than £12. Maybe it's closer to 20, but I don't want to think about that. Thursday's your day off. Oh, it's your first day of school. Oh, nice. Half term on a Thursday. Interesting. Yeah, it's odd that you can only access the community on your phone. You'd think it would be the other way around, if anything, but I guess YouTube just haven't secured it for work on computers because computers, I don't know what I can't do on my phone that I can do on the computer, but there is a lot more security that goes into working something like that. It's easier to integrate with an app, but surely there should be a, do I not have a YouTube app? I'm going to have a little look after this. Is there not a YouTube app for computers? Because I know there are loads of apps, like Disney Plus has an app on the computer. I use the website because the internet's just as fast, but it does have an app. I wonder if I'll be able to get it up through a YouTube app. I'll check that out. Pilot Luke with the X-Wing, Vader with Vader's Advanced, Palpatine. Palpatine is an interesting one. Palpatine could come with a Lambda shuttle. We built the Lambda shuttle from the Death Star, and I did say perhaps there's going to be another Lambda shuttle coming out. So Palpatine could be one of the figures in that. But I feel like maybe we could get like Simalu again. That just doesn't strike me as a set that people that didn't pick up the UCS Death Star will want to pick up. Maybe I'm wrong. Lambda shuttle would do well. Maybe a slightly bigger one. So we could fit a few more minifigures. But even then, maybe we'd have an Imperial pilot. I feel like an Imperial pilot would be on this list. And there are more smart minifigures coming. There are more smart ones. And the pilot isn't on the list. The pilot's not a named character. Hard to identify. I don't think they'd put a named pilot in there. Just because Lego don't print most pit bricks so that they can almost slipped up there. Lego don't print a lot of bricks so that they can stay universal. You can use them for whatever you like. And by giving us a named pilot, that does kind of throw a spanner in the works, because then it's not whenever you could, like, I'm surprised they named 2 out of the 3 clones as well, but I guess we do see those on screen. They're quite prominent. We've got Han and Greedo. Think that will come with Chowman. Hoping for a Chowman over Chewbacca, no offense. We got Chewbacca a lot. I'm waiting for arm printing. Vader, Yoda. Yoda would also come with training Luke in Dagobah. And I feel like we've been getting a load of Dagobahs recently. It would be nice to see a land speeder, because it's been some time since that. But all the other figures, I mean, Farm Boy Luke, we have a perfect Farm Boy Luke. Whether you picked up the UCS Death Star, whether you'll wait for the minifigure to be re-released in a cheaper set, or if you have the original Luke legs, or even the 2012 era Luke legs with a modern torso. Even the older torso works, honestly. Just grab yourself a 2010 minifigure, switch up the hairpiece, add a poncho, and you've got a better Luke than in the UCS Death Star. All because it doesn't come with a poncho. Nitpicking. But I don't think the printing is that updated. Luke, we've already got. Training Luke, I think the last 2, the one in the playset and the diorama, has been perfect. Pilot Luke, we got the keychain, which is the UCS X-Wing minifigure. Han Solo has been, you know, there's a few different creases across the last couple of years, but I think Han Solo's been spot on for a while. Palpatine could use a dress piece. If they're securing torsos and legs, I assume no dress piece, just torsos and legs. But I'd love to see original trilogy Palpatine. It's the only Palpatine we don't have with a dress piece. Prequel Palpatine got a dress piece in the gunship. We got the Rise of Skywalker Palpatine in the book with a dress piece. And then the original trilogy still has legs. And as I showed you when we looked at the Lambda, the dress piece fits inside the Lambda. It fits. There's no excuse from Lego. The dress piece would have worked perfectly. In fact, because of Sim Alu, they made room for the dress piece and hood. So I'm shocked that the UCS Death Star didn't include a dress piece. Especially when Gandalf has it. That's the biggest comparison. Gandalf in the Lord of the Rings sets has a dress piece and a 2x2 slope. Palpatine needs it. Palpatine needs the dress piece. Maybe this is what we need the UV printer for. I could just be churning these out and we could all have Palpatines with a dress piece, and then Lego would probably add him to a set. If they saw it doing well amongst the community, I'm sure they would. Not many minifigures do need dress pieces. I think the A New Hope Leia is one of those minifigures that gets away with legs because she has the white boots and like the half dress. Maybe a material piece. How do we feel about that? Made a clone mock and posted it on the community. I will check it out. I sometimes forget to do it after the stream. Time does carry away from me. There we go. X-Wing's wingless, but I will check it out eventually. I need a day for the community. Add it to my comments. Yeah, how do we feel about a New Hope Leia with a material dress piece? Because Lego would still, given the material is more shorter Karma, not like the old Karma elements that were a bit too long, but shorten it just a tad. And then you've still got the studs on the bottom 2 legs for Leia to be clipped down like in the cell or standing up. And then you just give her white legs. You don't need to do like half skin tone, half white boots, just white legs. You're not going to see the top half. I think that would do really well. I think that would be the Leia. And then what you could do is swap out the skirt piece for a longer skirt element and add that necklace we were talking about for the ceremony version. It'd be a separate minifigure. I think I'd still include both of them on the display, but you could get away with using the same torso. We do need a new Padme. We badly need. I mean, we got the gunship one, which was an updated design. That was nice. But we need a Mustafar Padme. We need a few Senate Road Padmes as well. I think there's so many dresses Padme wears. We could do with, as we have had Aunt Beru as an exclusive like Star Wars May the 4th figure. And that was for the Luke Landspeeder. So that went well because we heard... I don't think we ever got an Aunt Beru minifigure. We'd only got Uncle Owen in the Sandspeeder. Aunt Beru didn't come. So, in a similar vein, similar to the clone... You know what? That would have been perfect for this year. What I'm talking about is a wedding dress Padme Amidala. If Aunt Beru gets a minifigure, why hasn't Padme's wedding dress? For Attack of the Clones, that's, you know, like the pivotal scene at the end. That's a big scene. And they haven't given Padme a wedding dress minifigure. I think that would do very well amongst collectors. I don't know if any other company has done a similar thing. That's the one thing I'll be hesitant for. Usually Lego wait until other companies do it and base the success, you know. Oh, if it did well, we'll do it. We see Lego doing minifigures designed after like Black Series figures and other popular Star Wars figures. But I don't know if anyone's done a Padme wedding dress. There's got to be a reason for it. I agree. Shall we see if anyone else has done it first? Because if no one else has done it, that'll be why. Padme... We'll put wedding dress figure. Of course, it's just going to come up with actual wedding dresses. There we go. There we go. Nope, that's a custom one. What about... Nope, that's a custom one. Has no one... Hey, this is official Hasbro. From, like, 2000 and what? Amidala secret ceremony figure. It even comes with a portion of... like the railing, you know, that I hate sand, it's coarse, rough, gets everywhere. And Padme has a hood with a little golden accent. It doesn't look as lace as the hood in the actual scene. It's just like a white-ish material with a gold printing on the front. That looks great. And then it is a dress. You know, it's a wedding dress. I don't know what else Lego could do, but this Hasbro figure does come with a swappable hairpiece. So you can have the veil down. I assume that's what that's meant to be. Yeah, why not, though? Because they use the white dress piece a lot. Maybe white won't do it. No, it is white. It is white. Definitely white. We've got a Jedi Anakin as well, because he's in his Jedi robes, as he is for most of the movie, when he's not topless. But why haven't we got the robes? And there's so many other costumes. You've got the summer dress as well on the boot, also from Attack of the Clones. You've got one of the first costumes she wears, which is that nice flowy red to pink with like the crisscross around. You've got the fireplace dress, which was Lucas's favorite. Fair dues. And the wedding dress. And I'm sure there was much more in Attack of the Clones as well. There are a lot of custom minifigures, though. A lot of custom minifigures and a lot of custom costumes. I wonder what Padme outfit is the most popular on Google. The Breaking Bedrock Live is still going strong. I think it's been going for... Is that the one that's going for 4,000 hours? Just over. Saw someone talking about that elsewhere outside of YouTube, which shocked me because I'd heard of it through the chat. Put on the clone helmet. Oh, been there, done that. I am not moving that whilst Halloween decorations are around. I refuse to touch even the UCS sets, actually. That is the only exception because there's a little gap here that I can pass it through. Anything else, I have knocked down so many of them. That's why they're spread out. I've knocked them all down at this point. The most popular Padme dress seems to be that yellow to pink one, which I'm pretty sure in saying is the first or one of the first costumes at the lake house when they arrive. That seems to be the most popular. Then you've got the yellow one when they're in the fields, when they first go to Naboo. And then you've got the blue one from Tatooine. Also, Attack of the Clones. Oh, the purple one from the Clovis arc of the Clone Wars, which first off I would not trust that front holding up without any, like, there's got to be some invisible straps to the arms that they just didn't animate. I would not trust that one. Thank you, Bluefire. That was a fun one to record. 2 years. How many hours is 2 years? 2 lots of 365.24, 246, and that's 24 hours in a day is 17,532 hours. And this is YouTube, so 2 years isn't 2 years. That's 2 years and something. That's like 20,000 hours. Nuts. That is not the 4,000 hour one that I heard about. There is another one though that's been going like 4,000 hours. Not quite as much. Then you've got the exclusive Padme, the Naboo Tri-Bubble Bongo Padme, Geonosis Padme. Those are ones we've got. The that's the nightgown, isn't it? The yeah. So Lovers Blinded You, the purple Senate robes. And then, oh, the Handmaiden one, the green robe. And any more? Oh, there you go, the other queen robe. The Padme can't come to the door right now. When Anakin goes off to the temple, send the condolences. So there's so many robes that Lego haven't made. They've only made like 2 of those. The Queen Amidala and the Geonosis one. Geonosis has seen 2 variants in official minifigures as well. But it's crazy how many Padme costumes we don't have. Can I make a zombie clone trooper on stream? Probably not, because my zombies are still occupied by some Marvel characters. A zombie clone trooper could be interesting to make, because I could 3D print a helmet and then cut a little gap into it, similar to Vader. I've seen a few people cut open the Vader helmet and then have like the zombie head coming out. We need a half and half. I've also looked at getting the Venomized Iron Man. I almost picked up at the convention yesterday, almost picked up the Pork Rind and Iron Man blister pack, the Venom, and I think maybe Spider-Man's included, that makes sense, in the 4 blister pack. Pork Rind isn't a Venomized Spider-Ham. I didn't know this. Pork Rind is a creation, basically that universe's Venom. Not Venomized Spider-Ham, just straight up Venom, created out of thin air and not Venomized. So that's one less minifigure I have to get. And then the Iron Man I do want to rework. I don't think the helmet looks too good. Not compared to the comics Venomized Iron Man. Similar to what we did, I don't have the minifigures up there anymore. Similar to what we did with the Green Goblin, where we switched up a few parts to make it look like the actual character. I want to do that for Iron Man at some point, but I need the torso still from that set. People were asking like 20 quid for that though. That's a lot for a blister pack. I mean, the clone one I kind of get being valued at 20 odd quid. I think it was like 15 for the Hoth one. But for the Venomized one, Venomized Iron Man, yeah, I think the torso's only like 3-4 quid online at the minute. Do I have a Death Trooper battle pack? I have 2. Yeah, I have 2 battle packs. And they're the heads that I use for the Marvel Zombies CMF video. I did a few non-zombified characters and a few like background characters, but that was fun. Zombies. We've not got long till Visions season 3. It's a week. I nearly said 2 weeks. It's a week on Wednesday. 1 week on Wednesday, and like I said, 4 weeks max until my 8080 gingerbread set is coming out. Surprised I didn't see, for Padme's outfits, by the way, for the top Padme outfits, surprised I didn't see the Mustafar one. I feel like that's a heavily requested outfit for Lego. Probably hence why they did the brick heads. But the Mustafar outfit is, for Revenge of the Sith, what the wedding dress is for Attack of the Clones. So keep your eyes out. Wedding dress Padme, custom minifigure coming soon. Perhaps I do want to get to doing a few more custom minifigures, especially with like the droid selling so well. But I feel like they go with sets. The droid sold well because it went with sets. It took a lot longer for any of the other torsos and minifigure parts to sell. So that's the only reason I haven't come out with, 500 custom minifigures overnight. My list is getting so long. If they want. Oh yeah, Lego can print the side of the torso as well. I've just seen someone comment on the post. So Lego can print the side of the torso now. They did for... What did they print for? I don't know. I don't remember what they printed for. Can be done at national minifigure factory stores. Oh, but not like minifigure factory in Lego. No, on Lego. Hold on. How are these? Oh, I guess if you work in a Lego store, you probably can print on the side of the torso. Not sure about that though. And there's a lot of customs that use side of the torso printing. I don't think it adds a lot to the figures, but it doesn't take away. Like getting some robes down the side of the printing. But this might be the first official side of the torso printed minifigure in a Lego set. So many Padme dresses we could get, and instead we're getting Farm Boy Luke again. What? No. Say it ain't so. Crazy. Nice to see though. We might be getting the Snowy R2, the exclusive Vader in the book. For those of you that missed out earlier, we're getting a few new Star Wars books. That's going to look interesting. And we've also seen quite a few Lego sets announced over the last coming days. I've snuck them into videos. Thanks for chilling, Vaughn. May the bricks be with you. Snuck them into videos. The Goonies set, for instance. I missed out on the gift with purchase. There's a little attic gift with purchase with a few nods to the Goonies. That looks cool. And wish they would have invented a double-sided window pane. It'd be a pain to get the glass elements out, but even if they just added a little notch in there, they're not airtight, they're not watertight, they're not dust-proof. If they added a little way you could poke them out, maybe even just hollowed the bottom, like had a little gap in the bottom that you could push a pin up in, something like that, and then pop it out. That would be quite nice. What else did we? Oh yeah, the DeLorean, the Cars car. We've seen this, heard about the Sonic sets, and there's plenty more coming out over the next coming days. The Minecraft Biomes as well has also come out. That one looks like a really good set, but we're going to see more and more coming up to January, and I'm going to try and work them into related videos. Like with the Batmobiles today. We spoke about the Batmobiles and the Batwing sign. So if you want to know what I think on, like with the Goonies as well, I showed it off in the thumbnail in case you did want to see that. But I think that is all for today's stream. Only a fast one. Just wanted to talk to you about the convention. Had so much fun, and I do recommend it. And we've almost broken down the entire Luke X-Wing. Oh look, there's a green brick inside as well. I'm gonna steal that for a mock. So that's all for today. Stay tuned for the video. Let's have a little look at what the mock instructions poll is at. If you haven't voted, head over to the community tab. Paper instructions seem to have absolutely stolen the lead, so I guess I will get around to working on those. I do want to do instructions for the Eater, for the Ahsoka Eater, and I think what I'll do with the Eaters is upload them all under one same banner. I don't know what that means on Fourth Wall, which is linked in the description. I don't know if buying it once unlocks like the download forever, or if you just get emailed them. So I will look into that and try to make it, once you buy an Eater instruction, you unlock all future versions. That just seems to make sense for me, rather than paying for the same thing every couple of years when Lego releases a new one. I will look into that for you. But thank you all for tuning in on the stream. Yes, on the stream, National Brick Events was the convention, so I highly recommend see when they're coming to your area. If you're in the UK, I don't think they do. Let me have a look. National Brick Events. I think they're specifically UK, but there are. Yeah, they don't do around the world. It's just the UK. 17. Oh, 17 upcoming events. They do list the ones that they've got over the next couple of months. How long are they going for? They've got from now, well, from November all the way through to January, February 22nd in Aberdeen, all the way over the UK. Tend to follow a path as well. Don't know where Maidstone is, but that can't be too far. And yes, hopefully you enjoy. If you do go to any National Brick events, I will definitely be going again next year. That was a load of fun. But until then, stay tuned for that video in the next couple of days. And thank you so much for watching. May the bricks be with you always.